Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. So today we are going to be doing a little bit more game testing for Game 14 Toolkit 3.0 Beta 1. We're going to be continuing on from what we did yesterday, which was setting up a bunch of Windows games and getting them all to work using the new Metal DLSS frame generation layer, which we're going to be experimenting with a bit today. I'm also going to continue on. Yesterday we had a super chat request of Metal Gear Solid 4 running on the ARM version of our PCS3. So just going to be testing that out. And then we're going to be returning to our Windows games. So there's a whole bunch which I want to get working today. It's very exciting stuff. A lot of games which have never been seen before working on a Mac. And that includes games like Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and also Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. I think there are a few DLSS games that we can try out as well. So it's very very exciting. And today we are going to be looking at that. So let's see where we are with this. Yeah, so I'm gonna just test that, and we're gonna just play the game, just see how it runs. So of course, with the new metal HUD, it's scaled up a bit too big. Let's see if we can bring the scale down a bit. And we'll put this on to full. So I'm going to experiment with trying to get this consistently sized, because I think there's a parameter that we can use to do that, to get this working correctly. So I might give this a go. Might try to pass on a metal parameter. So in Chinese here. The terminal command that I normally use. Right in Chinese again. Right, let me get this working properly. Let's go back to English. Okay, so the terminal command I normally use is this one, set environmental variable. But there should be one to get this working properly. With these environmental variables. So if anyone knows how to get this to work so that every time I open this, it scales and uses the full parameter in the same way, I'd be really interested. Otherwise, I'm just going to be doing a different way. So I'm using the M3 Max MacBook Pro. I'm going to do is see what is happening here. Oh, it's asking for permission. So actually, you know what? I don't understand why this is not running, because I had this running earlier. So we have the the emulation working earlier, and I just restarted and reopened. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. I can see something's compiling here. Okay. So anyway, we're replying to a bit to chat. So Adam says, I copied all the files, one folder included, into the appropriate folder, and tried using CX Patcher 2, but no matter what I do, the metal HUD still shows the old version. Any idea why? Sounds like you haven't followed all the steps. I will be doing a tutorial video on this in the future. Don't worry about that. I'll try to do it sometime today, and just complete a video tutorial, because there's quite a few files to move, and it's a bit complicated, because I hopefully, once CX Patcher is a bit more mature and manages to, I think Eman is working on a version of CX Patcher which has the appropriate files to move. So we've got the Game 14 Toolkit 3 D3D metal files. You also have to move the wine file and in external folders. So make sure to move both of those. And then you have to change the bottle settings as well if you want to take advantage of the MetalFX DLSS translation there. So yeah, we're going to try doing that. I think the ARM version of our PCS3 is running at a really slow rate, so I'm not sure that's going to work. Wasn't DLSS only available on NVIDIA GPUs? Yeah, so Apple have basically hooked in MetalFX into any game that runs on DLSS. It runs with like varying degrees of success. So Cyberpunk 2077 works pretty well. Other games, not so much. Yeah, don't update to macOS Tahoe. Use a solid state drive like I'm using. I'm using an external drive to install Don't install this on your main drive because it's the first developer beta. It's still kind of in a rough shape, so I wouldn't overwrite your main computer with this operating system. It's just not worth it. Okay, so let me see. I don't think Metal Gear Solid is running too good. We are open, but it's not going very far. I'm getting a lot of errors on this ARM version. I don't think Metal Gear Solid 4 emulates that well even on desktop. So we're being pretty optimistic. What I might do is try and run the Intel build quickly, just to test this out properly. And then we're going to go on to some like proper pre-C gaming, okay? So this is not the normal course of events, but because we had a super chat request from yesterday, I'm just going to follow up and do this properly. So there are two builds for RPCS3. There's the Intel build, which uses Rosetta 2, and the ARM build. The ARM build has less good compatibility. So what we're going to do is just test out the Intel build. So not the ARM64, just the standard 64-bit version, which is x86. And then we're going to try that. So we've got 2 votes for Marvel Rivals. Yeah, I guess I could definitely try that. If someone super chats me, I'll do that. I really want to focus more on games which haven't worked before on Game Porting Toolkit 2. I mean, Marvel Rivals has worked well in the past. I'm not sure if it works exactly as well as it did before. Some people have some logging in issues, but generally speaking, it's been pretty good. Okay, just gonna pick up this the Intel build of RPCS3 and just see if I can run Metal Gear Solid 4. Well, it's hard to run on tried as well for MGS4, but good idea for Intel. Yeah, we'll just test this out. Hopefully, the shaders that I built already still apply. And then after that, we're gonna dive straight into crossover. So we've got some crossover games that I've purchased and I want to give a go today. Let's just okay. Let's just make sure RPCS3 is properly dead. Okay, because there's the Intel build is still there. How do you kill? Normally, there's a button to kill the process. Oh, here we are. Right here, let's kill the process. Yeah, that's dead now. Just reopen and then give this another go. Intel build. Okay, so Toxic Player says, can you make a new guide running Fortnite on macOS without the FN Mac Assistant because I have no controller? I don't want to use BlueStacks, so can you make a new guide? I can only make guides if the methods exist already. So unless you already know like a way to run Fortnite, then be my guest. Tell me the method, but right now there isn't a method. I mean, fingers crossed that Fortnite does come back onto Mac in the future, but I don't see that really happening anytime soon. Okay, Aaron J. Shadow, give me a shout out. Shout out to you. Okay, so it's compiling PPU modules. So I might have to leave this game. If we compile PPU modules before I can load up the next game, then I will test it. Otherwise, we might have to put this one to bed again. Okay, so I'm just going to add the storage drive for my NAS. Need to open up my game server. Get my Windows folder up. Now it's possible back on iOS. Wouldn't it be possible to run through an IPA? Well, yeah, that's what Play Cover could do, but because of various anti-cheats, it's not really possible to do that. Okay, good. So PPU modules is going to take an hour. So sorry, I'm gonna come back to Metal Gear Solid later in the future. Okay, and again, let's just make sure that RPCS3 is dead. I'll recompile the PPU modules for the Intel build in the future, and then we'll look at it then. Okay, good. So I've quit out of RPCS3, and then we're going to play some games. Okay. So yesterday we tested out Rebirth. We tested out Dragon Age Veilguard, Starfield. Starfield's working for the first time. Now we're going to do some other games. So let's play some Star Wars Outlaws, shall we? I'm just going to make sure this is working. You know, I'm just going to make a MIDI thing. So if you want to broadcast multiple devices, you can use this to do so, because I want to be able to hear a bit of the sound, hopefully not too loud, just a little bit. And then I'll set the sound to go through this multi-aggregate device, and I'll be able to hear a bit because I don't want to wear headphones. It's really hot today. Okay, let us play some Star Wars Outlaws, and then we can get going. Actually, you know, right before I do that, I just want to ask, so I've got my metal HUD turned on. Yeah, so in the chat, right, there looks like, okay. So in the Discord, there's a way of, I want to like have more consistent, I want to have more consistent metal HUD. So someone in my Discord has just put together a command. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this now. So I want all my games to have the same thing, and I have to keep quitting in and out over and over again in order to get the metal HUD, the new metal HUD for macOS Tahoe, to like look better. Okay, so we have a new command here, which I'm just going to copy and paste over from my Discord. Just give me a minute. This is going to be handy for later, I think. So this is like an environmental variable. I'm gonna, I guess I'll do a tutorial on this in the future. Just gonna make a text document. So it's gonna metal HUD. Okay. So just give me a sec. So I've got a command I saved on my NAS on my other computer. And this one here. Okay. So what this is basically an environmental variable. So big thanks to JHT, user JHT, who just posted this in the Apple Gaming Wiki Discord. So this is going to globally set all of the elements that I want to appear. So for example, here, let me just check here. I'm just going to load up this. If I load up this again, yeah, it's going to show the full scaling. So is that strictly necessary? Let me just see. So here we've got, I don't necessarily want encoder GPU time tracking. So I can, yeah, I don't necessarily want this GPU time tracking. I won't have that GPU time tracking. There's a GPU timeline as well. So what is in the full metrics? So let's just see. Yeah, the full metrics doesn't have everything. I just want full. So let me just check that again, actually. Is there a way to load up the metal HUD quickly? Is there like maybe the chess game will help? Chess is done through metal HUD, right? Well, so this isn't through metal. This doesn't load metal? Well, what can load metal? Weather. The weather app does it. Okay. Yeah, so I don't want the, what else do I not want? Ugh, wrong thing. So this has got encoder time. I don't want encoder time because these increase. and not encoder time. So, sorry guys, I'm just gonna fix this. So I don't want encoder time either. So which one's encoder time? Frame histogram. Just test this out. Not chess, don't want chess. I want weather. It's the weather I've gone. Yeah, still too much information. I don't want this to be tracked because that increases GPU time tracking. I don't want that. So haven't I removed this already? You know what? I'm just going to ask. Okay. I'll revisit this in a minute, basically. But for the next game I want to run, let's do it. We'll do it properly in a bit. Okay, so let's load up some crossover, and then we're going to do some Star Wars Outlaws. Okay, love the channel. Can you do Spider-Man 2? Spider-Man 2 still has animation issues with F16C, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to run that. I'm not going to try because it's going to be hilariously bad, so don't bother with that. Okay, we try to use my controller for Arkham Knight and Hitman Model Assassination, and it's a DualShock 4 controller and doesn't work. So if you enable DLSS, which is kind of what we're going to be testing today, a lot of those games stop working as soon as you enable DLSS. So that could be a factor in this. Okay, so we're going to load up some Star Wars Outlaws, and then if I get some information about this metal HUD thing, then I'll update this so that we don't get in so much bother. Okay, so I think this is going to be the very first time that Star Wars Outlaws is going to be played on Mac. At least I haven't seen any footage of this being run on a Mac yet. So we're just going to be running this in with MSync and D3D Metal, and then hopefully this will look pretty good. So I heard that this is working pretty well. I also want to test out Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. We'll do some Horizon Forbidden Dawn as well, I think, if we've got time. Horizon Forbidden Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West as well. Okay, so Ubisoft comes on. Yeah. Does an Xbox controller work on every game? Of course, yes, if you buy. So yeah, I do use an Xbox Series X controller quite a lot of the time. Also have a DualSense as well. I haven't seen that much difference in compatibility. Some of the DualSense games work pretty well with like haptic triggers and stuff. Do I need to install the Ubisoft launcher within the Steam bottle? That's a question that we're gonna answer today to see whether this is required. Oh, good, we are in. Okay, so this is like the first time, I think. This is the very first time I've seen Star Wars Outlaws even launching. Of course, I don't really think this one's a really popular game, so kind of fizzled out. Okay. Yeah, I could try Wukong as well. If anyone's got like other requests for anything, I'll be sure to like do it next once I've got a few moments. Yeah, so I want to disable stuff which is using up any kind of resource, because we're testing the game, we're not testing how good the HUD is. Okay. So my controller's not being picked up by this game. Okay, well, we're testing out. I think some of these issues are going to get fixed in the future, so hopefully we'll be okay. So I found your channel recently. Marion says, I hope more people subscribe. It will just go down to show that game developers, that Mac Gaming really has an audience. Will you make a summary video on how to set up all this? Yeah. So I'm making this video first in order to like figure out everything that's happening. Get some B-roll. And then we're going to get the game working properly. And I'll do a tutorial video afterwards just to confirm everything's good. Let's just see if this is the correct level of metrics. I want to be able to get all of the frame windows consistent, because otherwise it can be a bit annoying. But this is a good sign that it's actually loading. It just means that we, have an actual, it's actually doing something, which is a lot more than what we used to have. So yesterday was quite exciting that we managed to get, what was it? The Bethesda game? What's the Bethesda game called? Starfield. Yeah, we got Starfield working on a Mac for the first time. Seems to run pretty well. I'm quite impressed with it. But unfortunately, way after the actual release of the game. But it just shows that Apple looks like they're actually trying to get a lot of these newer games working. So if we can get Star Wars Outlaws working, that's quite a feat. Hal Fishy asked, "Hey, Mr. Andrew, could you be kind to test Overwatch 2? I've not seen this game in 2 years at least. I'm wondering buying a Mac." Unfortunately, Overwatch 2 is not going to work, I'm afraid, because yeah, it's just no one has reported that it's working, so there's kind of no point in me trying to get it to work. So yeah, I'm just going to look up the Mac gaming subreddit of people who are running. So apparently someone's got it working on their M4 Max machine, I think. So there might be some graphical issues running this on a 3rd gen machine rather than a 4th gen machine. And the M3 Max is pretty fast, but there are some graphical problems. The M3, I mean, each generation performs slightly differently in terms of some of the graphical features of the GPU. So some stuff is actually missing, which is interesting. Yeah, basically any anti-cheat game won't work. I mean, there's some exceptions to that rule, but generally speaking, none of them are working. I wonder what's happening here. Ooh, something happening. Ooh, something's happening. Let me put some sound up a bit. Let's look at settings. A bit too loud. VSync off. Does this have DLSS? No. FSR is the way to go. Quality? Yeah, let's do quality. There's no like graphics. Oh, there is here. Graphics. Let's do like low. Medium. Let's try that. Oh, there's a DLSS function here. DLSS direct lighting. I'm not sure what that means, but let's not mess with this too much. And then controls. Okay, good. Okay, let's try. So I've never played this, but let's go. So I'm back. I just joined from my Mac now, by the way. I just added to macOS 26. Thanks, Leon Kennedy, the game. I hope you didn't update on your actual main machine, because that would be sad.
Hungry?
I think I've seen this intro sequence before. Like, let me know in the chat as well if this is too loud.
So, finally, Zerek is here.
I think what happens is like kills everyone. It's a bit anticlimactic as a baddie.
Represents some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy. Pikes.
It's good
Crimson
motion
Dawn,
capture.
Huts. It's a golden age for the underworld. The Empire's little Death Star gets blown to pieces and the law is distracted by a rebellion that won't quit. It's an opportunity to make millions.
I think I've got the metal HUD stuff.
To my surprise, one of you sends a spy into my own house.
Overwatch stopped working because of anti-cheat, but supposedly the Chinese version works. Yeah, so that would require you to make a Chinese account. I wouldn't really recommend doing it. Maybe play Marvel Rivals instead, because it's going to be better. Okay, I'll skip this bit. But let's get to with some gameplay. Are you Lawrence High's brother? Who the hell's Lawrence High? Is she like a Chinese influencer?
I know, buddy. Just give me a
Oh,
minute.
Lawrence High. I've seen her. She's in. Oh, I've seen her in Garden. What is it? Terrace House.
This'll
Yeah,
work, right?
she's the model, right? I'm afraid I'm not related to her. No. Why is it sad if you update it on your main MacBook? There's still a lot of bugs with macOS Tahoe, so I wouldn't recommend doing it on your main machine. You should always do it on a secondary machine that you're not necessarily using for work or something like that.
Where is it?
Bro, play better games. This is Star Wars Outlaws, and this is like the first time it's ever working on a Mac, like locally. So it's actually really cool. Well, this is pretty good. It's like going over 60. I heard this game kind of flopped at the time, so not... Is the game capped at 30 FPS or can it run faster? This one's going at 60 FPS right now. It can go over, so we're not locked in at the moment. Canto Bright. Not the best part of the new trilogy of Star Wars.
Don't like it. If you change your mind, let me know.
So, Bram, that for me?
No. But this is...
Ah,
Looks like a lizard axolotl.
Yeah. And it's broken. Some scrap rat was selling it in the square. Says he found it in six-kin turf.
and now you're gonna say messing with the six-kin is a bad idea.
It's gonna get you killed.
That's another way of putting it.
You've got no crew, Kay. And you keep going it alone with high-risk scores that just go...
So have any of you actually
You
tried
want it
playing
done
this?
right?
Because this
You
is...
do it yourself.
I get it.
It didn't do that well at the
Some bad
beginning.
luck.
But
Bad luck.
you could
Bram
use
works
DLSS in
on
this game on your
broken
M1
and
Pro.
living
I didn't see that
Why don't you
option
stick
on
around the broken hoof tonight?
on my
Make yourself some dinner. Let me set you up
on
with
my
something
game.
small and easy hustle.
Maybe I'll just tweak
Or
the
you could
thing.
just
Okay,
get
let's
the
go back
door
into
handed
actual
over.
gameplay here. Let's just check DLSS. Can this be applied? So graphics, got DLSS direct lighting. That's not what we necessarily want. Got ray tracing. Video mode. Upscaling type. I don't have a DLSS option here. Am I looking somewhere in the wrong place, Piotr? Because we have DLSS working on this bottle, so it should all be there. didn't you have an M4? I don't own an M4 at the moment. I only bought those and then returned them, so that's what I normally do.
We're not getting anywhere.
So over here we're getting about 30 FPS.
Let's see Preben.
Actually 26.
Then we break into Club Tarsus and steal the forged identicards from their safe. With any luck,
I need to give you something.
we'll get us
I think what I'm gonna do is we are running this on an M3 Max. Let's like tweak the settings to make it more playable. So we'll go down to low. You know what? We'll go to. It did suggest performance mode. Let's try this. Okay, so I have upscaling options. Tahoe crossover previewed. We are okay. That's the problem we've got is we're not using crossover preview. Okay, so that's what's gone wrong here. Okay, so I'm gonna quit out and let's get DLSS working because there's just no point unless we have it all working correctly. So the mistake I've made is I've opened up regular crossover, which does have Game Porting Toolkit 3, but we want crossover preview. Okay, so I've got this new terminal command. I think I'm going to disable the encoder timing. Let me just tweak this. Let's just get this correct because I just want this. Okay, so I'm just going to tweak this again. I think I'll disable this. We'll run this terminal command. And then once I run crossover preview, then this should get picked up. So let's do this properly. Okay, so crossover preview. That's what we want. That's the mistake I've made. Okay, let's go here. You're going to check out Cyberpunk 2077 Mac port when CDPR drops it natively. Yep, definitely going to do that. But I reckon that Cyberpunk's only going to come out in then once macOS Tahoe officially releases. Just turning my fan a bit higher because I'm boiling. It is hot here today. I have a question. Should I buy PS5 for $280 or build a PC? I would always build a PC because I think PC is just way better value because you can work on a PC, you can do other things, not just gaming on a PC. But yeah, a PS5 is also a good choice too. It's nothing wrong with it. Okay, let's get Outlaws running again. How far do you think we are from dropping Valve or dropping a macOS translation there? Extremely unlikely at this stage because the relationship between Apple and Valve are very low. Is at an all-time low right now. Do you think 256 gigabytes is enough in a MacBook Air M4? Yeah, I think it's okay. It's not like the best, but 256 gigabytes is basically enough to like buy one big game and install it locally. Or you could just pick up a solid state drive and then install your games onto there. That's an option too. Around watch OS 2 and M2, yeah, yes. PS5 you can also use as TV, smart TV. Yeah, that's true. I thought with the new Steam update you could finally play Half-Life. Unfortunately not, but there is a good source support of Half-Life 2, so you can always try that one out. Ooh, I can export the HUD config file. Okay, maybe that's more useful because if I put it onto full, if I scale this a certain way, then I can export this. So I think about that size is about right. Maybe I can set this as an environmental variable. Metal HUD. Metal HUD. Maybe I'll just try this out because this then that'll pass through my variables that I need. Okay, let's go back to settings. So this should have DLSS as an option now. Yeah, we do have DLSS. Performance mode, it should give better performance. So with all the same settings, let's just see graphics. Yeah, we're on low graphics settings. This should just work better now. I'm from India and the MacBook M4 256 cost $1,042 US. I think the base M4 is like $9,999 plus tax. So I think you're getting a good deal because normally in India it's more expensive, isn't it? Apple products. I just realized it seems I missed something. Yeah, so with macOS Tahoe and Game Porting Toolkit 3, you can now run MetalFX over NVIDIA's DLSS. So this game supports DLSS, so we can use frame interpolation, which is Frame Gen, on NVIDIA supported games through this translation layer. And it's like a really bizarre thing. Like, why would Apple actually allow this to happen? But, you know, they just have for some reason. MacBook Air M4 plus PS5 or build a PC. I would always build a PC, but that's just me. I'll build a PC and buy a MacBook Air. If you do tie beta, do you get actual update when it comes out? Yes, you can update to the full release once it comes out. Okay, so I'm just going to check this thing I've just downloaded. So the Metal HUD, I've set my own plist file. So here it's saying, oh, I've got a Metal HUD scale, so I can set a consistent scaling here if I wanted to. So let's just do this actually. So I've got my device here. So I just want to set like a consistent size that's going to make sense for every time I run a game, because I don't want to like have to keep fiddling around with this all the time because it's a real pain in the ass. So let me just open this. I can just, yeah, so that's full. That is equal to full. And then I can also set Metal HUD scale. I can also set this environmental variable. So if I do this and set the Metal HUD scale, I can set it as a specific value. Okay, this is how you do it. I think if I set it as 1, then that will be a specific size. Let me just test this out. What would be 1 be worth roughly 2? Is that too small? Yeah, it's too small. I think maybe 1.25. 1.5 maybe. maybe 1.3, okay? No, we'll want integer scale, 1.25. I'll test this out later. So the next game I'll run will have all of these variables intact. I think that will pass through a specific metal HUD scale size. Okay, I'll just keep that open. Okay, so let's just go back to settings. So this is on low with DLSS set to performance mode. We'll also have option for ray tracing, but let's not do that.
We're not getting anywhere with a busted data spike.
So here we're getting 30, 40, 50 FPS.
Then we break into Kleptarsis and steal the forged identicards from their safe. With any luck, he'll get us on a shuttle to the
I am playing with my mouse. My controller isn't working in this game, but also when you run DLSS games, the controller doesn't work either. So that's going to be consistent amongst a lot of these games. So don't worry too much about that.
Okay? I need to give you something.
So getting about 45 FPS. It's lower than it was before. No, it's higher. It's way higher than it was. So we're getting like 50, 54 FPS, whereas before we're getting about 30. I mean, I can directly compare AMD FSR 3 and this, okay? So, okay, well, let's look at this screen here. Let's look at something without some animations, okay? So this, let's say we were looking at this corner. So
Huh. All the merchants are out for the
we'll stand here, okay? We'll stand here, and we'll look at a static area, like this guy here, okay? This Twi'lek here. So here we're getting, with DLSS turned on, we're getting like 63 FPS. If I just change this down to back to FSR onto the same like graphic settings, so this DLSS performance mode, and then FSR. If you look at the top,
Just a reminder, this channel should not be used to discuss personal affairs.
this part is the same. It's about 62 FPS. Let's try looking at this building here. So this building here, we're getting like 50, 53 FPS with FSR 3. Let's just turn DLSS on. I'm not sure this is the methodology, because a lot of the times in other games, I've had to actually restart the game. So this is about 50 FPS. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this part here, 53 FPS. I'm going to restart the whole game, okay? Because in other games that I've tested, the DLSS hasn't actually turned on until I've restarted the whole game. So I'm also going to try and get consistent experience too. So we're going to quit out of everything again. This is just methodology. Okay. Hopefully that'll kick in the new environmental variable that I've just set up here. So we'll quit out. With the metal environmental HUDs, we have like a consistent sizing on every future game that's run, as long as I use this scaling. So I want 1.25 scaling. Let me see if this is the right size as well. Okay. PS5 or PS5 Pro, what's the difference? I don't own a PS5, so I don't really know. Yes, as Kiwi, you're looking at Star Wars Outlaws. So trying to enable DLSS. So in that balcony area, I was getting 53 on both DLSS and FSR. I just want to double check that with DLSS turned on. Sometimes you just have to restart the whole game in order for it to work correctly. So let's just see if that's working. What is Game Porting Toolkit? It's Apple's evaluation layer for running Windows games on a Mac. And what I've done is I've modified Crossover Windows Translation Layer to incorporate all of the Game Porting Toolkit 3 D3D Metal changes. And that has now allowed us to run a load of Windows games locally on the Mac for the first time. So Star Wars Outlaws, we also had Starfield working, Dragon Age Veilguard, Jurassic World Evolution 2, some other games yesterday, and also the DLSS MetalFX hook. So that is all working now. Let's load up another game and just see this working. Yeah, PS5 Pro has better graphics, but for me, right, I've always, if I had a choice between PS5 and PS5 Pro, I always buy the Pro version because I don't like playing games on something that is inferior in some way. So these metrics haven't loaded correctly, but I'm just going to come to this. The metal HUD didn't load. It's gone to like full scaling, which I didn't want. I wanted this to work. Do I have to set this? Do I have to put this in quotation marks for that to work? Because let me just see this again, because I want a more consistent scaling. Because it's 0.15. Okay, I've got that wrong because I've put it the wrong scale. So it should be 0.15, 125. That's what I really want. So when I restart, I'll use this scale instead. And also, it was doing something a bit weird. I don't want encoded GPU time trafficking. Yeah, that's what I want. So let's just do this so that I don't forget when I go to the next part. That's the string that I want. So this custom the new metal HUD is really cool that it's customizable, but it's also annoying because I don't want it to be different. I don't want to be too customizable, if you know what I mean. And our scale is 0.15, so that's about right size, I think. Okay, hopefully when I load the game, when I load the next game, it's going to have consistent sizing. Okay, let's do it. Oh, I didn't mean to press open the store. I will not open the store. Okay, so same settings as before. Let's see if DLSS is working better. What do I think about the new redesign, VPAN 215? I don't like Tahoe. I don't like the menu bar. The dock, I don't like the finder icon. I hate it. Did you find any bugs on Tahoe yet? I had several issues installing Windows Steam Boss on Crossover yesterday. I'm not sure if that's because of Tahoe or Crossover hasn't been updated. Still early days. Why is it generally considered that Apple is better for students? I find Apple computers much more reliable in the mobile platform. So often, if you imagine, right, let's say you go to university and you want to play games, right? You're going to be buying like a very thick laptop with lots of cooling and like a big power brick. And if you're lugging that around to classes all the time, A, you're going to have really poor battery life. B, it's going to be really loud. 3 is going to be really heavy, right? And 4, I've had so many issues with Windows running on laptops in the past. You know, unreliable battery, not sure it's actually sleeping or not. When you open it up, is it going to be draining the battery? Is it going to be running in your bag? These are all things that have happened to me at university. I wish I had a MacBook because they are so reliable, and the ARM chips are so power efficient as well. So you can truly use it all day. Whereas Windows laptop, I can't really think of a Windows laptop that I can use all day. Hello, GizK Web. Thank you for joining the stream. We are testing out just a bit more gaming. Oh, you just stream Split Fiction. Great. Did you play it on your own or someone else helped you? I'm a university student, says Adam. I have an M4 MacBook Air and a Legion Go. I dock them interchangeably at a monitor in my dorm. That's like a really good way to do things. I mean, personally, I would change the Legion Go to a desktop PC, and you'd have the best of both worlds. For me, it's like I'm of the mentality that you should just get as much as possible. Yeah, just earn more money and buy both, right? Why can't you have a MacBook and a Windows computer? Don't you make enough money? Come on. Very low loading speed of the game. Is it because it works through crossover? It's probably because I'm loading it through network storage. It shouldn't affect game performance as such.
We're not getting anywhere with a busted data spike.
Let's go back to that balcony and see what the performance is like.
Then we break into Club
There's like a
Tarsus,
balcony
steal the
here,
forged
which we were
identity
looking
cards
back at.
from their safe. With any luck, they'll get us on a shuttle to the core worlds. Huh.
Okay, for some reason, this is actually running worse than before. No, it's better. No, DLSS is working better. We're getting a good 5 frames more than before. So before it was like 53 using DLSS, and now it's like 59. So it's better than FSR3, and it needed a restart to get this to really kick in properly. Because this is exactly where we were, and then when we're looking here at this lady, we're getting like 63 or 62. So this is definitely better. So DLSS needs a restart. So we set the setting, and then it needs a restart. So this is definitely better. But it is still a DirectX 12 game running through translation there. So it's not necessarily the best. There are a lot of them like gaming PCs now, definitely not heavy, but you can't use them all day because powerful ones don't have an ARM chip. Well, this is the speeder from episode 4. Okay, we need to go to this thing. Windows runs it better while emulating on a MacBook than other laptops running it natively. Yeah. You can certainly run Windows 11 ARM very well through Parallels virtualization. That's like a really good option. So performance is like medium, I'd say. 40, 50 FPS. I'm not sure I really want to play this game. It feels a bit clunky, like the frame timing feels a bit off. Yeah. Performance is weirdly slow. The GPU time is fine at 16.9 milliseconds.
Come on.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Welcome to the stream XCSL. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm quite happy.
Because the forged identity cards in that vault are the only way I get off this planet. I'm done with Canto.
Canto was probably my least favorite part of the new trilogy. The whole Canto Bright thing was just weird.
Good. Only options I got here are Sixth Kin or
Yeah, it's not well optimized game on PC, so it's like good that we're able to run it at all.
At least someone like me. Let's get some credits.
I really don't like games like this, which just give you no gameplay at the beginning. I mean, it's awkward for testing purposes, but it's also like boring as well.
These will be loaded with credits.
Did something call to you?
Okay.
Come back anytime.
See you later.
Have you ever faced a problem about some software's not running on a MacBook? This is like my whole life is things not running on a MacBook. That's my whole shtick. If everything does work, then I wouldn't have a job. I prefer MacBook for productivity, but I hope Macs get proper gaming. I mean, yeah, it's great for productivity, and the hardware is certainly capable of gaming. Like you can see here, MacBook Pro M3 Max is pretty good. Okay, so happy this is working. Let's continue on. So we've done Outlaws. Let's do Horizon. So let's just quit out of everything. Let's cut out crossover preview. So this'll kick in now. So hopefully the scaling will look the same. Okay, so let's load up the next game now, okay? Yeah, Tiny Glade, I'm afraid, unless Tiny Glade gets a DirectX 12 upgrade, we can't run that, I'm afraid. Okay, next game. Let's try some stuff that doesn't work. So Horizon Forbidden West. Okay, I'm only going to play this for a few minutes because I'm only 15 minutes away. Timer 12 minutes. I'm only 15 minutes away from my refund window. What did you study in college and where did you study? I studied at King's College London. And I studied philosophy at university. I also did a master's in philosophy, continental philosophy. And yeah, I'm quite. I wonder every day about what would have happened if I'd taken up a law position, which I got. If I'd done law instead, always wonder what would have been. Okay, this gives an. Let's play with some settings here. Graphics high. I think we can handle graphics high. We have DLSS option here. Dynamic scaling off. VSync off. There's high graphics setting. Let's try this. So that's 1080p, quality mode, DLSS, frame generation off, high preset. Let's see if we can play. We're going to play for 10 minutes because I want to refund this game again. Still. Yeah, my scaling didn't work correctly. Getting the old value for some reason. I'll have to do this more consistently later. That's about right. One aspect except gaming where you feel Windows are better than. Let me come back to that in a minute. Maybe this didn't kick in correctly. So Windows is better for, I guess, like hacking a computer in the sense that you can make bigger modifications and there's more users using Windows than on a Mac. And some things are just more kind of easier to access. So for example, if you like pirating games or something, it's just easier to do on a Windows computer rather than having to jump through all the layers. And so certain softwares work better on the Windows version. Like if you want to do really advanced Excel, Microsoft Excel stuff, it's just work better on a Windows computer. My voice is bugging. It's probably because I've got a lot of AI voice stuff happening. So this is what it's like with the voice cancellation AI stuff off in the background, and this is with it on. It's because I've got a lot of noise on the treadmill and walking and everything. Let me know in the chat if my voice is still good or bad. Better for online games as well, yeah. I mean, apart from gaming, I mean, gaming's the big one because all of the anti-cheat games work on Windows. Better without the noise cancelling. Okay, let's try this. Is it better like that? Is it better without any noise cancellation? Because you can kind of hear stuff that's happening in the background. hot, so I've got my fan running. Now it's better. Okay. Well, maybe I'll keep it off for now. I just thought it might be a bit noisy for everyone listening to me move around in my treadmill. Let me just check this DLSS as well. This metal hard. Yeah, that should be better. So you guys, you like the sound now? Like I've turned off the voice AI voice function. So is this better? Okay, I'll look at the questions while I'm waiting. Do you think Xiaomi will make laptops with their X-Ring chips? I don't really know much about Xiaomi. What's an X-Ring chip? Is that like an ARM chip? Like an Android chip? Yeah, so it was fine either way. I mean, I prefer to have it on than off. So I'm gonna, this is on, okay? This is turned on now. And what happens is that if there's like a really big noise in the background, then it'll try to filter that out. It will make the noise sound a bit funny, but that's fine. Okay, thank you chat for the feedback. Now the question is, can I get this to work? Can I get this to work in the next 5 minutes before I can refund this game? That's the question. Because I like testing with the legit official versions of games. Let's see if we can get it done. It's really annoying that you know, you're doing a shader compilation, and you know you're going to spend like half the game testing because you have 2 hours to refund a game, and so do you want to spend that time shader compiling or not? Okay, I've got less than 4 minutes. Hopefully we'll get some good footage out of this. We'll also test out the remastered Horizon Forbidden West, which uses the same game engine. Okay. So when I tried to get this running in the past, right, we had major issues getting this to work because we were using Vladimir Prog's patch, F16C patch, and it was kind of working. But we had issues with instability, so it would crash like really quickly. What am I supposed to do here? So we would be able to run the game through crossover, but then a few minutes, after like 2 minutes, the game will just crash. I think I'm going backwards here, but that's okay because I'm here to test out. Just want to make sure that, see, in the past, right, this would bug out after about 1 minute, 60 seconds or something like that. But now this seems to be working pretty well. Like no major graphical issues. It's almost like Apple have decided, oh, you know what, we need to actually try getting this to work for some reason. And even though it's not strictly necessary. Am I supposed to do something with that? I've like forgotten what I'm supposed to do in this game. But at least it's running and it hasn't crashed yet. So that's like the main takeaway from this. So I'm supposed to go there. Grapple. How do you grapple? Oh, hell, there we are.
Wow, that works.
That polecaster's useful. Too bad there's only one.
Don't worry, I'll find you another way up.
Okay, good. So that's Horizon Forbidden West. We'll do Zero Dawn as well. Let's just quit out of I'm trying to get this variable working properly. So this that should give me the correct scaling. So it's 0.125. Okay, let's try Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Okay. Such an amazing looking game. Yeah, it's a beautiful looking game. All of these Sony games are ported by Nixies, like look really good on a Mac. Especially a Ratchet and Clank, that's really good. Any chance to have Flight Sim 2024 working? I think that's more like a DRM Windows issue, so it probably could run if it wasn't for the various DRM issues that we have. Oh. Hi, can you make on your big MacBook Big Stellar Blade DLSS NVIDIA graphics test? Oh, I guess we could try that. There's a demo, which I made some content about before, I think. Okay, so it says that we don't have the right graphics, but of course we do. We're going to use DLSS. We're going to turn resolution scaling on, off. We're going to set to high. And it's going to look pretty good on this Mac VSync off. Okay, let's try this. I think we'll do some, it'll do some shader compilation as well, but we might be okay because I haven't played this game yet. Yeah, it scaled it correctly as well, I think. That's 0.125. Is that big enough? Maybe it's a little bit small. I think what I do, I'll just tweak this slightly to like 1.13. So next time it'll be better. Can you speak to how good or bad input latency is when playing FPS titles? I mean, I'm not really one to talk about latency. I mean, I play games with the MX Master or the Logitech MX3. So this is like a productivity mouse, not a gaming mouse. I need to dig out my gaming mouse out at some point so I can do proper testing. But people say that the input latency is worse because the screens on MacBooks have higher latency anyway. And a lot of people say that it's worse. When you run through translation, there's also latency added in too. Depends on the frame timing. Like here, it's actually running really well.
What's that now?
Oh, I'm going to quit this out by pressing Alt F4.
We have a ritual to perform. You
Did that work? Shift Command F4. Oh, that really did quit, because in the old game it would not quit. Let's just do this again. I want to get the scaling looking good. So let's do 0.13. Then run crossover again. Understandable, thank you. So I'm guessing with the monitor, it should be better in some ways. Yes, if you've got low latency, like a 1 millisecond monitor, gaming will be better. But if you game with translation layers like crossover and game porting toolkit, you are gaming with a compromise. There's always going to be a compromise. If you want primo proper gaming experience, just build a computer. I know I come from a privileged position when I say that it's just easier just earn some more money and buy a gaming PC and buy a laptop and buy a MacBook for productivity. I think that's like the ultimate combination. Okay, DLSS, let's do it. Currently, the problem with DLSS is that we can't use controllers on it for some reason. This is still really small. Has this HUD config exported? Because I feel like this is still really small. Let's just start the intro because you can't skip it. Does anyone know how to skip this? The intro, because it's really annoying that you have to watch this whole thing. Let's see. This is 0.13, so it is. Yeah, I want the metal HUD to be consistent so that I don't have to deal with stuff later. I think what I'm going to do is make my metal HUD 0.14. I think that's going to be the ultimate size. Yeah, this is so annoying that you can't skip this. Yeah, I understand. I have a gaming PC also. I've always wanted to fully switch to Mac, but can't because of Steam. Wish we could get Photon, but Metal API is a pain. Yeah, it's completely understandable that. We're very close. I mean, crossover is close to being Proton on Mac, but not quite there. A lot of things in the way, but with the addition of Game Porting Toolkit, these two combination makes, I think, opens up the Windows game library enough so that you don't need a dedicated gaming computer necessarily. You could, I mean, I don't know about you, but how many games can you play in a year, right? For me, I don't really have that much time to like properly play games. As long as I can have a handful of the biggest AAA games of the year that can work on, you know, well-spec'd Mac, then why not? And also, like, there's a lot of companies which will give you an expensive MacBook Pro, but they won't obviously buy your gaming PC for your home use. So you could afford to have a higher end MacBook.
Normally, it would be the mother who declares.
How to get rid of the tearing? The tearing is an issue. I turn VSync off. So normally you turn VSync on in order for tearing to for the frames to match the refresh rate of your screen. So I've turned it off so that I can actually benchmark the game properly. So I can actually see how much how well this MacBook Pro with the M3 Max script can run this game. Hopefully, once I run this, then when I test this out next, then it's going to be a bit better. I can just synchronize my save game. What MacBook do you use? I'm testing this on an M3 Max MacBook Pro with 48 gigabytes of RAM and 40 GPU cores. It's excellent for video editing, 4K timelines and everything like that. Medium good for gaming, I'd say. One of the better MacBook Pros that one of the higher end Macs that you can buy.
One day.
I hate that this has this intro every time you run the game. Because I used to run the GOG version, so it wasn't that easy to get like this save game synchronized.
High Matriarch Tirsa. What is she doing here? Does she mean to forbid the ritual?
Okay, so today I want to do a few more of those Ubisoft games too. So Valhalla has never worked, and also Mirage has never worked before. So I'll try those two. I mean, Mirage does have an iPhone, iPad port, but
You came to bless the naming.
yeah, I've only read a few reviews about Mind's Eye because there's a lot of news about it being like a flop. So that's all I know about it. Is I've heard no other marketing from it, literally. Doesn't VSync introduce a lot of input latency? Yes, it does introduce input latency because the rendered frames have to match the refresh rate of your screen. So that's always going to introduce issues. I don't think that crossover games. So with these ProMotion displays, there's like variable refresh rates, so your frames could synchronize. But for crossover games, that's not the case. You're gonna have to deal with either tearing or VSync up and then get input latency on top of some latency because of the translation there. So you pick your poison, right? Which one is it? Do you get input latency or do you get screen tearing? Personally, I prefer to have better latency, and so I don't really care that much about screen tearing. It doesn't bother me that much. But I know that's the personal preference. Are you going to test the Ubisoft games on Steam? Yes, I already tested Star Wars Outlaws, and then we're going to do the Assassin's Creed game. So I've also got Syndicate we're going to try too.
Only what you asked.
Syndicate.
Raise it, yes. We said nothing of love. Enough. And you, blessing its name like it was one
I
of the
know my
Nora,
duty
one of
to
the
them.
tribe.
And to you.
Okay, this is like the longest intro I've ever seen in my
I'm
life.
here. And wherever you go, I will follow.
So I'm just writing down what I did as well. I did AC the rebirth. Okay, so finally we're actually at the settings menu. Let's do at least 0.5 frames delay because to interpolate you need both current and next frames, so you are delaying. I'm not using interpolation at the moment, so if there was interpolation, it would say on the metal HUD on the right. So at the bottom of the HUD it says MetalFX scaling. If the frame interpolator was on, then that would also introduce latency. So this is a pretty big improvement from the past. We had issues running this game because it would go into slow motion, and there was like a fix for that. Something to do with the CPU timing of it. So this is the new remastered version of this of the game.
Ross said never go in places like this. But I have to find a way out.
Let's try and get to the outside bit where the tutorial part is, where you're running in the grass.
There's something shiny there. How does it do this?
So back in the day, this was like a big deal to get this running, and now it's like it's easy. It's easy mostly because of the work of code weavers and crossover, of course, which allow you to. They've done a lot of the Proton-like wine work to make this work properly. There's also the result of the work from code weavers. And no, it's the collaboration with like Apple and D3D Metal. That team, the whole team, work together to make these translational layers work. And it's kind of like interesting to think, what is the end game of this? What is the point of getting Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West to become more stable? Because this is a translation after all. We're meant to be evaluating these games rather than actually playing them. So 40 FPS isn't too bad. We're going to like 33, 40 FPS. So is there an overlap between Crossover Wine and Proton Wine? Yeah, it's massive. They all use the base wine, which is 10.10 at the moment. And they're both maintained by the same company, which is Codeweavers. So there's huge overlaps. A lot of the things which fix games on Linux, on Proton, will often be very similar fixes to running the game through translation layers on a Mac. But there's a huge crossover between wine gaming on Mac and wine gaming through Proton and the Steam Deck, etc. There's like a huge crossover. So it's not really that big of a surprise. Okay, let's get in the outside world and we get some actual proper benchmarking of this. Will this run on the M4? If you have enough RAM, so you need like 20. I think we're using like 24 gigs. So if you have less than 24 gigs, right, then you're going to struggle a bit. Okay, good. We're finally in the wild now. This is a proper test now, you see.
They may taste bitter, but they can save your life. Always keep your pouch full of medicinal berries, flowers, and plants.
Where are we?
This valley is just a part of All Mother's embrace. The Nora tribe watches these lands and keeps out.
There's a lot more detail in the metal HUD, which I don't really understand like what it means. I actually prefer the layout of the old metal HUD in the sense that I'm too stupid to understand what lit encoded CPU 0.94 milliseconds. What does that mean? It's just graphs and data. Hopefully someone more intelligent can decipher what it means.
All machines are dangerous, Aloy. Their power must be respected.
But
I will be beside you.
it's cool to see the remastered version of this game. So, okay, so this is the DirectX 12 version. Relatively new, of course. It's silly to think that these robot things couldn't see you, because in reality, they would see you. Doesn't matter if you're crouching or not. Let's go back and hide in here. It's beautiful how this looks, but it's very unrealistic as well. Am I supposed to go somewhere? Or am I supposed to go back? I've skipped through the tutorial. Spider-Man 2 won't work yet, but it does run, but the animations are all bugged out. So I don't know what's happened with that yet. Horizon Forbidden West working. Oh, it's Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered working, I'm sorry. Okay, I want to test this. I'm going to put this out with 0.15 because I think that I need the metal HUD to be bigger so that actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's just review the list. So on the bottom left of the screen under the chat, I've putting together a list of games that I've covered already. I want to try and get the ones which are new. Let's do Creed. Let's do Valhalla, because I think that people like Valhalla a lot more than the other ones. Horizon is nicely optimized because it's cross-platform cores by M3, M4 machines to find the efficiency of how it runs. I ran 38 gig Atomic Heart on M3 Pro that gave me 40 FPS only. I mean, isn't Atomic Heart like a big cross-platform game as well? Okay, I'm just gonna have a little mini pee break. We're walking for a long time. Let me just see. 4.6 kilometers so far. I'm just gonna have a little. Let's get another drink. Okay, let's continue what's happening here. So I've heard that this is what this Valhalla is running. So someone said in the Mac Gaming subreddit that this is working. So I've let it run for a couple of minutes. Let's see where we are. Let's just check the Mac Gaming subreddit about this. So is there any other way to get metal frame generation without crossover preview? Unfortunately, not at the moment. Detroit Become Human will never work, not for now, just because it's a Vulkan only game. Same deal as Indiana Jones and also all the Doom games, all the Doom revival games. Okay, I'm just gonna try this again because I'm not confident that this is running. So it's trying to load up AC Valhalla. Oh, here we go. This is more progress. The new Metal 4 makes something for Vulkan. No, it doesn't make Vulkan. What it does is that it's more similar to Vulkan than Metal 3. There's like a Metal, it's a rewrite. So if you want to take advantage of Metal 4 games, if you want to take advantage of Metal 4, then you need to kind of rewrite your games, the way your game interacts with all the APIs and stuff. You need to be using macOS Tahoe. What's wrong here? But apparently it's the Metal 4 structure, the API, is more similar to DirectX 12 and Vulkan than before. So it in theory, it'd be easier to translate the games. So Valhalla is coming up, but I'm not sure why it's not appearing here. So I was looking at news about this running from a user called Lengthiness Mother 179. They said that Valhalla was working. I've already given it quite a lot of time. I think what I'm going to do is we'll try a different game now. We'll try Mirage. It's a shame I couldn't get this working. Let's try Mirage. That's also maybe more games can come easy for Mac now. Hopefully, it'll make the translation layers work better. Because I don't really have high hope that actual games will work better. Should I install Ubisoft Connect? We already have Ubisoft Connect installed here, so it should just work. Can you install Marvel Rivals? If someone super chats me, I'll do it. I don't intend to do it today, you see. So someone's saying Mirage is working, but I haven't seen much evidence beyond a screenshot or two. I shouldn't need to add a key for this because it's a digital purchase. Is it not my type of game? I do play shooters, team-based shooters sometimes. But less and less these days. I have less patience. I think what I might do is install what I might do is reboot the bottle, but also I might manually install Ubisoft Connect into here too. Because that might add some of the fixes for Steam for Ubisoft Connect games as well. So if I install this, it's installing some fonts. Maybe that'll help. There's a new AAA game coming to Mac, Crimson Desert. Yeah, I've heard of this. I'm interested to see the MetalFX capabilities. Anything that comes out after, the next MacBook Pros come out has the potential to perhaps um, incorporate Metal 4 features. If someone super chats me $5, then I'll cover Marvel Rivals today. But other than that, I'm gonna try to cover games which already work. One game I want to try is Red Dead Redemption 2 because there's like someone told me that the shadows are fixed. So in the snow levels, I think check whether the shadows are fixed in the snow levels. So I'll have a look at that if possible today. Okay, let's try Valhalla again because I feel like it's an Ubisoft issue. Yeah, unfortunately, Overwatch 2 is not working right now. I do know that for a fact. Yeah, unfortunately, Overwatch 2 hasn't worked for a while, which is sad. Probably there's a need to create a specific file for AC as it was for Far Cry in a game folder. Mm, if someone can tell me exactly what to do, then I'll apply it. But right now, no idea what needs to be done. Okay, I'm gonna give this like 2 minutes, and then we'll see where we are. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to move on. I'll do the next game, which is Avatar. I heard that's good. So I heard this is working. Avatar Frontiers are, yeah. Ubisoft is quite flaky on crossover. Previous versions of Ubisoft required you to change the bottle settings. Let me just check the wine configuration because I've got everything shoved into one bottle. What are the overrides that we've got here? And then we've got, yeah, it says Windows 10 as the Windows version, so that should be compatible. Yeah, let's give up on this. That's not working. Yeah, I'll try one more Ubisoft game, then we'll give up on Ubisoft. Let's try the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Are you using a new Mac Steam or is this Windows 1? This is just the Windows version of Steam. The Mac version of Steam is great. The new ARM version is fantastic. But this one we're playing with right now is the Windows version of Steam. Okay, so Avatar, stop. Create a distribution.steam file. What does a distribution.steam file do? What is a distribution theme file? What does that do? So what do you think about the new Steam app? So yeah, the new Steam app is fantastic, but It's just a client, so it hasn't changed anything about the games that run on macOS Steam. It just allows you to browse the store faster because it's all Chromium based like a web browser. So it hasn't really changed the outcome. All we know is that Valve decided to update the Mac version of Steam, which is like the first substantial update. Oh, we've got a black screen, which is good. I haven't played this game. I heard it's like quite good. This one. There's tie-in to the tie-in game to the movie. So I haven't seen Avatar 2, the second film. Okay, good. Oh, getting somewhere. Have I tested Red Dead Redemption 2? Not yet. Avatar's on the same graphics engine that Star Wars Outlaws. Have I tried Wukong? I haven't tried Wukong yet. Okay. I hate it when you can't skip cutscenes. It's just really irritating that. Oh, my legs are killing me. I've walked 5 kilometers now. I hate it when you can't skip cutscenes because it just seems irritating. Okay, it's loading. Something's happening. Let me just check the same person that's been running the AC Valhalla. Also managed to get this game to run, but I'm not sure why. GTA 6 would work nicely with the graphics turned down. I mean, maybe. We'll see when we get there. We're years away from GTA 6 being released. So I can see like there's a percentage bar on the bottom right. So I'm not sure what the deal with this is. Is this going to start operating soon? GTA 6, yeah. People keep talking about GTA 6, but we can barely get GTA 5 Enhanced Edition running on a Mac. And then people are expecting GTA 6 to just magically work with Metal graphics API baked into it with a full macOS port. It's just impossible, basically. So don't hold your hopes up too much because it's not really realistic. Something is happening. I do have a report that this is working, so I wonder if there's anything special that's done to get this to work. Because the person on Reddit, Lengthiness Mother 179, is getting this to work using an M4 Max chip, which is 4th generation. So that's like the main differentiator that we're talking about. Seems like it's combining shaders. I mean, this animation, the fact that it's moving is like a really good sign. So hopefully this means that we have some form of game movement happening. Could be the case I also restart the game too. I also don't want to leave it on forever because it could be stuck. Oh, well, here we are, 18%. The thing is that, you know, Mac gaming is such Windows gaming on a Mac is such a compromise. Like on a Windows computer, this would go faster. It would be much less of an imposition, and you'd know whether it was making progress or not. But here it's going quite slow. As I say, the faster the percentage jumps, faster, faster, faster. Go, 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 go. There's 100 people waiting for you to make sure that this goes faster. Come on, guys. After this, normally everything works fine. Okay. Okay, so shaders have compiles, so it went up. Did it go up to 100%? I think I spent 20 minutes compiling Marvel Rival shaders after this. Just some seconds. Okay. That's why I should launch any game with a debug window for macOS hackers. Yeah, you can see the metal HUD rising. Yeah, pipeline states 30,490. Oh, cache shaders. Yeah, you can see that the number rising 25,000. Yeah, you can see. I can see here. It seems to run faster when the game win is in focus. So I kind of like leave that going. I think you can skip Marvel Rivals shader compilation. You probably don't want to skip it too much, just because you want to make sure that it all works beforehand. You don't want to be stuttering in the middle of a game. I wonder why the Assassin's Creed games didn't work, whereas other people got it to work. I'm going to check the reports page. me just give him a mini break while I let this run. Okay, so I'm not sure what's happening here. What I might do is just restart this and then we'll see if where we are. Something is happening. Maybe I should just keep it going actually, because I can see, well, there's a lot more detail in this metal HUD this time, which makes it quite interesting because we have the pipeline states are increasing slightly. So we're on 31,034 at the moment. It keeps going up. So maybe I should just let it go. Oh, here we are. all this work, right? I'm just gonna play it for 5 minutes.
Good morning. Let's review the ambassador program. When the RDA discovered Pandora,
Good.
Discover something that was there. Manor ensi. Aungangahu.
Best part is playing games on an airplane. Yeah. I do bring my MacBook with me everywhere, so I do like playing on a plane. Expedition 33 was such a good game. Have any of you guys played that? It's so good. It's one of the best games I've ever played. All that loading just for...
Good job.
When are we going to get some gameplay? I've waited a really long time to get into this game. Every time a cutscene happens, well, there's a lot of loading. Elon Musk can get a point where he has his game set up on his plane. I'm pretty sure that's how his Path of Exile 2 character died. He was on a plane and he got a bit of lag spike using Starlink, and then he died. His hardcore character died. Yeah, this is it's also because I'm running the game from a NAS as well. So shader compilation takes substantially longer because we're only at 2,500. We're capped at 2.5 gigabit, and also the game's running from like a RAID 5 array of mechanical hard drives. So performance is probably substantially lower. When it comes to like verification and that kind of thing, what I should have done is any of these games which require large shader compilers, I should have copied it onto the local SSD. And will run faster. I mean, it shouldn't run this slow because other games should run slow.
We'll continue our talk about Earth economics and the law.
I'll let this cutscene run, so
and
I have something
Why
visually
do
to
we
look
have
at.
to use human weapons?
Nor, we've been over this. Pandora is a very dangerous place.
But we've hardly seen Pandora. How do we know what we're protecting ourselves against?
Cortez, I need to talk to you over here, now. Look, orders have come down from Hell's Gate. We are being evacuated from Pandora. I need you to grab your stuff before the panic starts.
What?
Look, we have lost Pandora. Some Avatar driver named Jake Sully went full native, turned the Na'vi on us. That's why you can't trust any of them. I need you to get your stuff together and get back in your own damn body now. Puppet show is over.
Okay, everyone, collect your things.
Hey, Cortez, I will handle this. You need to go. You know what to do.
Oh, it's gonna kill him. No, this is the event of Avatar 1. In a few seconds, there'll be another loading screen, no doubt.
Follow me, quickly. We've got this one chance. Come on. Get in.
What are you doing?
You'll be safe here.
Is Mercer leaving us? We are no longer of use to him. No, I won't believe it.
Hurry, you need to hide.
Let us go. We can take them.
Hmm.
We can escape
To Pandora.
There are soldiers everywhere. You won't make a single step.
This is our chance to be free.
This is your only chance to survive.
What about you?
Hi Lorenzo, thanks for joining us. So today, I'm planning to do like a general Game Porting Toolkit 3
It won't be long,
demo.
okay?
So everything will run today, and not everything has been run in DLSS. Loading screen. Coming back for this. Finally getting somewhere. Yeah, I think if I do run this, I think it's because of it's running from a NAS, like a traditional hard drive. Seriously, this is it's a character maker. I didn't-
lost you. All of you.
Okay, I'm back.
What's going on?
Oh, my legs are like
What
on
happened?
fire.
Been asleep for a while. A long, long while.
Must you prodded them like this?
Did
to make
anyone
you
read the
walk?
Cyberpunk 2077
Rest we are
article? What
brave.
article?
But the RDA left, didn't they? And you left us here.
The sky people have returned, Sarentu.
Sarentu. No one has
I wonder
ever
if Steam is
told
now
me.
absolutely native, if they will implement
That
something new, like a different translation
mighty
layer.
one at that. We thought you were lost to this world.
Valve aren't doing anything to do with translation layers. That's just pure copium.
I'll explain when we get back. But for now, you take it easy. Your body's still waking up.
Yes, I'm actually in the game. What? No. What happened? Okay, let's look at our graphics settings. We're on low. Let's not change anything because I don't want to. I just want to play a little bit. Scaling is on performance mode on AMD FSR3. Let's just play a bit. I just want to see that's working. I think if I loaded this on a solid state drive, it would go a lot faster.
We're safe.
We're getting out at last. It's really happening.
The Cyberpunk 2077 Mac Pro is running at 120 FPS 4K Ultra. Is that with any kind of FSR scaling? Is it really going to run 4K native? I've been at this game long enough to know that Valve are not interested in a Mac translation layer of anything. They don't care about the Mac platform at all. Right? So I just don't think it's realistically going to happen. Okay, find some food in.
Maybe Alma sent them to a different cryo vault.
Find some food.
Don't touch me with that.
I'm sorry. Treating Nazi wasn't really part of my training. Come on, we gotta go.
Who are these people? Nurses people?
Is Mercer here too?
Now if DLSS support Last of Us Part has more FPS. Probably, yeah. But food. Eat food. Where's everyone gone? No scaling at 4K Ultra is pretty good. Like that would be substantially better than what we're achieving through crossover. Okay, I'm gonna give up on this, and then what I'm gonna do. This is enough time spent on one game. Okay. What I might do is just move this over to my local drive. But I might experiment that later. Okay, I'm not too fussed about this. Okay, Avatar done. Syndicate. I don't have Syndicate installed. Okay, I didn't buy it. Okay, Red Dead Redemption. Let's see if we've got shadows fixed, frame rate fixed too. So I think this will install the Rockstar launcher, I believe. A recent demo showcased the M4 Max 120 FPS with ultra settings in Cyberpunk 2077. The game will utilize features like path tracing, frame generation, and spatial audio, all fully supported on the M4 chip. Sounds exciting. There's a new interface for this. Interesting. Enable cloud saves. They stated it matches the 3080 and 4080 abilities, but pulling less than 120 watts. Thanks, Red Dragon, for joining us anyway. It's not realistic to expect Cyberpunk because if it does make use of Metal 4 and frame interpolation, or aka frame generation, that means that it's only going to come out when macOS Tahoe is released. And macOS Tahoe is only going to get released when the new MacBook Pros get released. So that's going to happen in September, October, November. Probably October, November is normally when it happens over the last 3 years anyway. They've committed to this kind of rolling, release schedule every year. Okay, I'm going to go down. I'm going down. Oof, my legs are killing me. Okay, display. Let's get this up to the correct amount. Okay, we have the option here to run. Let's see. There isn't an option here for DLSS, is there? DLSS is relatively... Oh, there is. Okay, so I'll run DLSS in quality mode. And then I'll quit the game and then we'll run this properly. So I'm not going to check Oblivion Remastered because I think it actually runs pretty well already on Mac. I'm looking for like bigger improvements and also like graphical fixes. I'm not sure about Red M. I haven't really played around with that mod. Oh, it's brutal. I just walked like 6 kilometers and my legs are killing me because I did about 8 kilometers yesterday. And it hurts. The pain. The only thing that keeps me stuck on Windows, yeah, there's little mods and stuff that people use. I'm not sure that Red M works on a Mac. If anyone can confirm that, let me know. I think this will be the last game that I test today. If I can get this working, I'll be quite happy. Okay, so let's continue the story. This is one of the games I like to work. Isn't Red Dead Redemption 2 on streaming? I thought it was on streaming. I think the games I've tested today are Horizon Forbidden Dawn Remastered, Horizon Forbidden West, Star Wars Outlaws, and also Avatar Pandora, the Pandora version of that game. I've also tried to run Valhalla and Mirage, but for some reason they aren't opening up. I might try again later. So Joseph asks, I hope all is well. I want to ask if the new native Steam for Mac means anything game performance-wise, or if it's just a smoother application. It's just a smoother application. None of the games themselves that you launch through Steam are faster. or better or more compatible. Literally the only thing that changes is that it is faster to browse the Steam library and use the Steam store. So there has performance issues and basically a quality of life fix for games which use which basically use a lot of stuff on the store page or have large libraries that need patching large files. That'll just perform generally slightly better. Yeah, hopefully going to hit 100k this year. So less than 5,000 subscribers left. I got my little counter on the bottom right. I realize that crossover opens Steam faster than the native Steam app. Sometimes it does. I generally find the native one is going to run faster, I think. Let's skip this. It looks like the shadow issue's fixed. Am I right in thinking that? Because I'm pretty sure when I played this before, it had shadow issues. So my controller's working. Does that mean DLSS is not working? DLSS is set to quality mode, okay. My controller's working for some reason. 70 FPS at 1080p quality mode. I'm not sure what graphics settings you'd call this, because a lot of the settings are set to low. Beautiful game. It looks way better now, because before we were running with loads of shadows like flickering on the terrain on the snow. So the fact that this works now is like way better than before. I am using crossover preview, yeah, in order to use DLSS as well. Does MetalFX Frame Gen work on M1 Max? No, it doesn't. You need like an M3 or above, I believe. Oh, I'm kind of tired. Did you patch it with CX Patcher, or does that already have GPTK 3 support? I didn't patch it with CX Patcher, I just did the files manually. I'll do a little tutorial video on this when I did. I'll do this. You can use D3D Metal, but some of these features, like this, I think this DLSS MetalFX thing is a M3, M4. I need to read the documents again, but it's written in the Game Porting Talker README file. It's looking good. This is it's a beautiful looking game, and without the shadow issue, it looks great on the Mac. Like nothing really stopping us from playing this game through this translation layer. There's never going to be a native port of Red Dead Redemption 2, but it's nice to see that it works through this translation layer. I just wish it got some kind of official support, because a lot of games just want like a Proton for Mac. The thing that Red Dead Redemption 2 was an issue is last time I tried it was that the game freezed after 20 minutes. Okay. Did I just die because I didn't go in the right direction? Bill was abandoned. Oh, I see him. I didn't see him before because he's like a little speck. Where did he go? Where did he go? Oh, there's Bill. I didn't even see him. This using a surprising like low amount of RAM, so 8.23 gigabytes. It's not even that much. Texture quality is pretty low, is it?
What's going on? He says all fine.
We'll soon find out.
Okay? I think so. Okay, cover your faces. Train should be here any minute. That includes you, Arthur?
How do I change the...
Have you forgotten the price on our heads?
I'm pretty sure this is DLSS, isn't it? Because I've turned DLSS on and I restarted the game.
Good luck. All of you. You all know what to do.
Yeah, I've got scaling. So it says MetalFX scaling, but we're using DLSS.
More who said it was fine. You're thick. You know that?
You left textures on low. Is that bad?
Hey, down here! Help! I've got you. Now stop yelling.
I could try textures on high. Does that... Oh, great.
Now, let's go slow and straight down. Where's Javier? He fell. The others are down. Come on, we need to stop this train. There's another guard up ahead. You want me to take him?
I need to restart. Yeah, the textures are pretty low quality still. No, I'm not going to restart because I have to go soon.
Shouldn't we buzz up? Let's keep moving. You better get up there. You all right? Yeah, I'm good. What the hell was Bill doing? He had long enough to set that charge. Well, I hooked up the wire, but we won't mention that.
Okay, cool. So that's Red Dead working, okay? So I think we are going to be finished for the day. I think that's enough to do the video and get everything working correctly. So I'll just check my list now. We did Red Dead Redemption 2. We did Cyberpunk DLSS. No, we didn't do that. We did Red Dead Redemption 2, and we've done Avatar. So maybe we'll be able to get other games working in the future, but that'll be another day, I think. So I'll put together a little list of games that we've able to get working. A lot of like really good. There's a lot of really good like exciting new games which work. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth being one of them. I wonder if there's anything else we could test out. Okay, guys, so we have come to the end of the stream. Thank you very much for being with me on this journey. I'm going to cut all of these together into like a summary video. So we'll do a small chunk of every single game that we've tested. So all of those games: Dragon Age, Veilguard, Starfield, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Jurassic World Evolution 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Horizon Forbidden Dawn and Forbidden West, Cyberpunk, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Avatar. So that's like a ton of these games are now working. So thank you very much for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video. Right, bye.